It's so easy.
Okay.
Is Shannon Sharpe.
Okay.
If your name is Shannon Sharpe, you're in a world of hurt. And let's kick off the final hour of the show and talk about Shannon Sharpe, because I'm amazed by this. I have said this all week on this show about Shannon, who is allegedly sexually abused a woman. He has allegedly choked her. He is alleged in audio to have, as you've heard on the show multiple times, he is alleged to have threatened her to choke her in public. And I've played it every day. We've talked about it. I'm going to play it again. Shannon Sharpe strongly denies all of these allegations.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
The only problem, Shannon, is this isn't sports talk. He also released a statement, and you're saying that people don't believe this is his statement.
Yeah, people are saying that the way this, specifically the top paragraph where it says...
Wait, by the way, this statement is to announce that he's stepping away from ESPN.
Yeah, so people are saying, I guess hypothesizing, that Shannon didn't actually write this, that this is a copy and paste job, apparently, from his marketing firm, because this top part says, my statement is found here, and this is the truth. There were, people are saying that this is written weirdly. I'm not really getting that sense, but, I'm noticing, the reaction to this is everyone saying that this is, not, genuine. This is somehow, not fabricated, but just not great.
Not from the heart.
Not from the heart, basically. That's kind of the initial reaction to this right now. And I don't know, man. I every day that goes by with this situation, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, I agree with you more and more. At what point do you get out of this situation? At what point do you say, okay, hey, look, all right, Tony, you got me. Let's put this to bed. How are we gonna move on from this, bro? I don't know what else you do here.
I am amazed that we're in a spot where we have Shannon Sharpe being allowed to make a decision. And I think it's important to note another audio recording was released, and it's worse than the previous. That's allegedly Shannon Sharpe. And now today he has announced he's taking a leave from ESPN. And what did I tell you about this Stephen A. Smith video yesterday?
Yeah.
Not to pat myself on the back. This is a dumpster fire for ESPN.
I spoke to Shannon. Not in details, but I spoke to him. And he emphatically proclaims his innocence. According to Mr. Busby, his client emphatically proclaims his guilt. There are layers to this, and there are certain layers even I am not on. I can tell you, I also spoke to co-chairman of Disney, the boss, Jimmy Pitaro, who made it very, very clear we are taking this matter very seriously, and we are looking into this very, very closely. And once we gather as many facts as we possibly can, we will go from there. In my perfect world, this equates to Jay-Z, where the case ultimately dropped and Shannon is allowed to continue on First Take and continue to thrive and shine. And not just that, and have an illustrious career in the podcast stratosphere, doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, doing Club Shay Shay, and ultimately gets this $100 million deal that he was all over the news about to sign just a couple of days before this report came out.
But you're painting him to be a victim.
Yeah.
And I can tell you one thing, no matter what you hear on either side of this, I don't view Shannon Sharpe as a victim here. And the only thing that I think absolves him is if that recording, the recordings we've heard of Shannon Sharpe, if they're AI and fake and that's not really his voice and she fabricated them. That would be, in my opinion, the only thing that absolves him. And I just don't think that that's the case. Because I think when you listen to what Shannon Sharpe has said, I have not, and you guys correct me, I have not one time heard him say, that's not me, I never said that. I've never heard him deny saying these things.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
How do you say that?
Wild.
That's what I'm struggling with. And I'm not saying that I believe that's Shannon Sharpe. We're saying allegedly because that's what the etiquette requires. Dude, I think that's Shannon Sharpe's voice.
Here's
And
the other reporting that's coming out is that him and this girl have gotten together, have been physical,
yeah.
allegedly over 100 times
And-
over the last 2 years.
And nobody's denying that.
Yeah. And so I have to say, and if you can go back to the show. I think it was Tuesday we first talked about this. I think might have been Monday. You know, the first time I caught wind of this Shannon Sharpe situation, I have to say it had a lot of shades of the Trevor Bauer thing, right? If you think about like, you know, the Trevor Bauer thing, there weren't tapes like this, but there were loads of messages and DMs and pictures of you guys remember the picture of like her black eye, and like there was a lot of this sort of back and forth war going on of like, hey, you're putting out this picture, but look at these texts. And you know, again, we're not showing the texts that keep coming out because they're just so heinous. But I have to say, if you go and read the text that TMZ has, and they have a lot of them, I have to say Shannon's not a victim, but the things that she says to Shannon does support the concept and the depth of their relationship, which would be, hey, like we've gotten together a ton, we text each other nasty ass things all the time, and then we get together and we do these things, and so what I'm struggling with the Shannon Sharpe situation is, number one, why the hell does Shannon keep talking? Number one,
I don't know.
But then number two,
I don't know.
You know, number two, at what point, Shannon, do you say to yourself, yeah, man, like one time, okay, I guess that's still bad decision making, but over 100 times, And
you were in
and
an extended
like
sexual relationship with this girl.
so that right there, if we just stop right there, that makes you look terrible, Shannon. Like, let's
You-
just be real.
And according to reports, Shannon Sharpe met this girl at a gym when he was 54 and she was 20.
Like right there, it's over. You're done.
And I can't tell you, it was at least half a dozen people texted me and DM me yesterday and said, great point. When I said, you're 100 millionaire, you're a famous athlete, an NFL football legend, and a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and you picked up a girl at a public gym? And what were you, doing at a public gym? What were you doing picking up women at a public gym? What were you doing smashing with a 20-year-old who's an OnlyFans performer? All of those things are not, they're not red flags. Like, she is on fire with, this is not probably smart for you, Shannon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other damning thing that I can't get away from is he's never denied he said the things that we have heard him say allegedly.
Yeah. In fact, what did he say?
Release the whole tape.
The
Hey,
tape should be 10 minutes.
He never said, oh, that's AI. That's not her voice. That's not my voice.
Cut this up.
This is doctor.
Yeah.
He's never denied that. So, and I've seen all the people saying, oh, that's AI. That doesn't sound. He's never said that. And if it was not him, and if that tape was doctored and falsified and he didn't say those things, you don't think he'd be jumping up and down with his attorney over that? Of course he would.
What is he doing here? Damage control.
Yes.
That's what this is.
And what should he be doing? He should be cutting a check like a long time ago.
Because look at the statement that he has put out here, saying that this is a shakedown, and this is what does he say here at the top?
At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. He said at the top, my statement found here the relationship in question was 100% consensual.
So your defense is not that this is not you. Your defense is that, no, I did not commit sexual assault. This was 100% consensual, and this is a cash grab. That's your defense. Okay, well, if that's your defense, then all of this is going to get run through the media. All of this is going to get put out into the public. And again, and this is the point you make, credit to you, it's the same thing as Trevor Bauer in the sense that it doesn't matter at this point even what actually happened, because now you're done, dude. It's over for you.
And again, ESPN released a statement saying this is a serious situation and he needs to step away. We agree with his decision to step away. And when you read what they said, this is a serious situation. We agree with Shannon's decision to step away. And everybody defending him, he said this is a consensual relationship. He's never denied saying this.
You're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
Why do you say that out loud? You can't even think that and be normal. You're talking about, that's what I'm saying. So I think if you're ESPN, he can never appear on your air again.
Well, and again, if you put a statement back up on the screen, what's he say at the bottom? Hey, my goal is to be back by the time NFL preseason gets going. That's what he said.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's possible. Right there in the third paragraph.
Yeah, I'll be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason.
Yeah, good luck with that, dude. Good luck with that. Because I again, and maybe Shannon needs better people, right? I don't know, but someone needs to get this dude to understand that ESPN is the least of your problems at this point. Your return and because I feel like him saying that is this effort or this sort of this kind of strategy to say, hey, everything in my life is not going to change, right? My life is going to stay exactly how it is. This is a cash grab. This is Tony Busby is only out here to damage my reputation because I'm a black man, just like he did to Jay-Z and all these other dudes, right? Like that's been Shannon's angle. And I wish somebody would say to Shannon, bro, if you're not careful, like you are going to be irreparably damaged from this. There is no coming back.
And I point out again. And then I want your thoughts on my question to you in the comments section. Can Shannon Sharpe ever appear on ESPN again? And I want to point this out. Where have you seen or heard Shannon Sharpe deny choking this woman? Did you read the TMZ report today that Jake is referencing? They had a 3-year relationship that included choking and physical rough sex over 100 times.
Which, in Shannon's defense, again, shade to Trevor Bauer, that's not illegal. That's not a crime, right? That is not, on its face, that's not anything wrong. But again, and this is what we don't know. How did we go from you guys are texting and doing all this nasty stuff together that you enjoy clearly to she's suing you for 50 mil? How does that work? Where and then the other thing that got brought up today too, which I feel like this is probably coming out of the Busby camp, I'm guessing. But this whole thing where Shannon was allegedly involved in a coworker incident at FS1, on the FS1 set, I should say, where, they allege that he, choked somebody there. Fox, the verbiage was like Fox decided to handle it privately, and Shannon says that was just a couple of guys, messing around together. Like all this stuff is coming out. Right? Like everything.
I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm thankful there haven't been other accusers
yet.
I am thankful there haven't been other accusers. And I'm hopeful there won't be. It's a miracle how this girl is not pregnant unless Shannon is clipped. I don't know.
Who knows, dude? That's I have to say that
thankfully,
respectfully, that's just not, in my opinion, of consequence in this conversation.
Oh, can you imagine if they had had a child? Oh my God. No. Jay McClanahan, when are you around that type of crazy situation? Shannon needs to get a hobby, but not the public gym, dude.
How have you not have a gym built in your house, dude? If you're $100 millionaire, you tell me you don't have a gym in your house?
Quinn Taylor doesn't sound natural. You mean the voice? But he's okay. Let's go with that theory. If that voice is AI, why hasn't Shannon come out and said that?
The thing that doesn't sound natural to me is not his voice. I think it is his voice. My opinion is I do think that's his voice. The only part of it that potentially is suspect to my ear is the speech pattern of it. It's choppy. It doesn't sound like they're going back and forth.
But why hasn't he said that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree completely.
That's if it's AI and that's not his voice and they're creating a voice that is believed to be you saying you choke this woman or you will choke this woman or I'll choke you in public. He would be saying that, you guys. Come on. Gabriel, why is ESPN and sports media full of drama? ESPN is starting to turn me off. Glad the NBA is going to NBC next year. It's not leaving ABC and ESPN. I think this is what you get. And when you have social media and you have guys that make bad decisions, you know why this is happening? Because ESPN hired a bad dude, allegedly.
And now one of ESPN's top dogs is defending that bad dude.
And I think you're in a position here where I don't know how you fix it. That's what I'm trying to say here is we all have the things we do behind our bedroom door.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good until we find out the cigar got smoked in the Oval Office. It's all well and good until we found out she was a Padre fan with Trevor Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
It's all well and good until we find out Tiger is doing it with Perkins waitresses next to a dumpster. because we put stigma on those people so they can never be in the mainstream again. And it's very few and far between. Tiger Woods overcame it.
Yeah.
Who else has overcome it? Bill Clinton hasn't. Right? And then the Epstein stuff that's alleged.
The only guy that overcame it's the best that we've ever seen at what he does. Bill's not the best we've ever seen in what he does. Shannon's not the best we've ever seen in what he does.
I don't know how you get away from it. And I don't know that you do. And maybe you don't deserve to. How is Shannon not wealthy enough to make this go away? He is. And he should have made it go away before it ever went public.
He's refusing to. See, that's the problem. See, he lowballed. The problem is, see, and this is why I don't think Shannon's got great people around him. So this pops up, right? Busby calls you or calls your lawyer, let's say.
And I still maintain that's one of the worst moments you've ever had in your entire life if he's calling your phone.
So Buddy's calling your phone and the offer, they're asking for 50 and you offered 10? Like, that's disrespectful, dude.
I would agree with that.
That's going to aggravate the situation. And that is why when we're getting comments like, how is he not wealthy enough to make this go away? That's why. Because now we've graduated from a wealth conversation to a premise conversation. If someone brings you a problem,
truth,
and they say, hey, here's what the solution is, and you say, here's 10% of the solution. Okay, cool. Well, you can take your 10% and shove it, and here's the bird.
Are you really
as well.
trying to solve the problem if you're willing to,
10% is not going to solve the problem, dude. Like, come on.
We'll never know what really happened. I just don't think we'll ever know.
The bigger issue is you offered 10 million. I'm assuming because you thought that this wouldn't go anywhere. I'm just guessing, which also, in my opinion, sends a bit of a message that you think maybe you're above this. You think maybe this isn't that huge of a deal, or at that time you did, right? Because if you thought this was a big deal and you were concerned about that $100 million podcast deal, you'd have put this thing to bed ASAP.
And that's the other thing that I think guys like Shannon don't think about. And maybe it's because he's got a lot of money in the bank and he's got an NFL pension.
When did we get to a place when just because you had a lot of money, like you just got away with being just making awful decisions? I'm not even saying being a good person, right? Because I think whether you're a 100 millionaire or you're broke, being a good person is a choice that you can make, right? Like doing right by other people is a choice that we can all make.
Yep. Roche, I have a feeling she'll win the money she deserves, but it'll be less than 10 million.
Well, let's be careful saying the money she deserves.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Lopes fan Gabe, why does every audio clip we've heard during this entire debacle sound so choppy and heavily edited? It makes it hard to take any of it seriously.
Yeah, agree.
Because I think, and I'll play it again, I think there is a chance it's edited. I don't know. We don't know. It clearly Shannon says it's not the entire tape, which obviously we all know, right? But how edited does this sound to you?
You're just gonna get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
That doesn't sound edited to me.
See, I was going to say that sounds a little edited to me. Meaning
the haze in the background?
Not the haze. We'll play one more time. What I want you to listen to is the tenor of the conversation, like the tone of it. Hey, they're kind of, that first part is fine, right? They're going back and forth. The answers make sense. The answers are timely. But then we just do this thing where the dial just turns up.
Right, because she said, don't manipulate me, and that pissed him off.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, here it is again.
You're just going to get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's at a minimum, it's questionable. At a minimum, it's questionable.
But the other question I'll continue to ask here is, did he know he was being recorded?
There's no way he knew he was being recorded.
How is that legal?
Yeah.
How is it legal that you can illegally record somebody on a phone and then leverage them with that recording? I mean, there's got to be, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a lawyer, but there's got to be, yeah. Gabriel, not going to lie. What makes it worse is it's being reported by TMZ. TMZ is one of the most credible journalistic organizations in the world.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. I don't know why you think TMZ is not good, dude. 'Cause-
Harvey is a lawyer. They do it right. Why does his background noise go away when she talks? Because noise cancellation.
Yeah, because she's recording him on a third device. That's why.
That's exactly what I think. Now, and let's not state that as fact. We think that's why.
Well, I don't know how else. So I don't know how else you would do this. I guess you could screen record it, I suppose, but screen recording would not capture her side of the call at that point. That's the problem. If you use the screen record function on your iPhone, it will only capture what the phone is putting out.
Yes.
So we wouldn't have been able to hear
I would guess, based on on my experience recording audio off of a phone, my guess is she's on speakerphone. And she is holding a speakerphone. And she's probably got a microphone next to it.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. I don't know that to be fact. And so you hear her talk, and then when she stops, the noise from the speaker fills the space.
Yeah.
That's not abnormal at all. At all. For me, even if Shannon wins in court, he is going to be untouchable by any media outlet. He's going to lose no matter what. Oh, he's lost already. Trevor Bauer won hands down over. He can't win. She'll never get the pro rata she deserves because this is narcissistic rage at its finest, dude. On both sides, in my opinion. Big Daddy Magic. Hey, playa, he went. Offer any money if he was innocent. Plus, you had a great point. If it wasn't him, or if it was a guy, he would have been knocking on his lawyer's door at the crack of dawn. Totally agree. But he wouldn't have offered money. I don't agree with that. If you're Shannon Sharpe and you're a 100 millionaire and you have your sex partner who you've had physical sex with that according to TMZ included choking.
Yeah.
And was of a physical nature. And she says, I'm going to release this and sex tapes. Give me $10 million. And you're a 100 millionaire. $10 million is a tax write-off, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tax write-off. You pay that to your lawyer. It's a legal fee. You can write that off your taxes. At that point, guilty, innocent, it doesn't matter. If $10 million keeps that from coming out, what do you care? You're a 100 millionaire. You're about to sign a $100 million podcast deal. You made a ton of money in the NFL. You're an NFL vested veteran. You have a pension. You're a Pro Football Hall of Famer. You're on ESPN. But no, that deal didn't get done. You Stadium Guy James, you offer money even if you're innocent because you want her to go away and you want the story to die. That's exactly right. Can ESPN void his contract after a guilty verdict? But this isn't a guilty or innocent verdict.
Mm-mm.
This is not a criminal case. It's a civil case. And there are lawsuits that are allegedly filed between the two. The ESPN likely has enough in their morality clause that's in every Disney contract. As somebody that was a contractor there, trust me, it's in every contract. They have enough now to void the contract if they wanted to. But I would also tell you that's a bad look. If you just whack him right away, that's a bad. ESPN has had a checkered past with black talent at the network.
Mm-hmm.
It has not always gone well for them. And the separation has not always gone well for them. So I think I would be measured. And I don't care, in my mind, I don't care what color your skin is. You need to be measured when you terminate somebody in a situation like
100%.
this. Put them on leave, Let them work through their legal stuff outside of the confines of ESPN.
Yeah, because you also have to take into account if you fire him, it's a bad look for Shannon all the way around.
Yes, I agree. Fat Jesus. I'm Arizona. Only one person in the conservative and I'm Arizona. Only one person in the conversation needs to know that it's being recorded. Probably true in other states. Could be. Could be. Absolutely. And they were in California and Nevada. So, Roche, oh yeah, that's what airplane mics do. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Red wine. I'll reserve righteous judgment till the Joe Friday facts are presented. Well, I think there's a lot of facts presented, and people aren't arguing that they're the facts.
And you need to be prepared when the treasure trove of text messages eventually comes out on this, because I do think it will come out.
Shannon needs to put this to bed, dude.
Yeah, I mean, so again, this is the double-edged sword. I think that could really help him win this, if you will, or save money. At the same time, it's going to make him look like, he is absolutely a wild person behind the scenes.
I think it is a death knell to his career.
Yeah, which is very difficult.
You don't get away from that.
But again, this is, all jokes aside, you made this bet, dude. Now it's time to line it.
Yep.